host of the Gridiron.
Yeah. 5 winners and 5 losers from the Danny Dimes. Well, he hasn't thrown many dimes this year. Danny Dimes Jones benching. Who we got here? Who's the winners and who's the losers here? Well, got this article here from Big Blue View talking about the winners and the losers. Well, the one of the winners says is the fans. Giant fans for now, anyway. Fans have been clamoring for Jones to no longer be part of their lives since the moment that he was announced as the number 6 overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, instead of edge rusher Josh Allen. Yep. Jones quickly changed some minds in his first NFL start with his dramatic come-from-behind victory in Tampa. Yep. He had moments after that, a 5-touchdown overtime win against Washington. Unfortunately, that led the Giants to, which worked out well, because led the Giants to draft Andrew Thomas instead of Chase Young. So that worked out well. 402-yard performance in the Superdome that led the Giants to an overtime victory over the Saints. A stirring comeback to lead the Giants to a victory over Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in London. The 301-2-yard touchdown wildcard victory over Minnesota. The Giants' only playoff win since 2011. Let's see. And even the unexpected 257-yard 2-touchdown win in Seattle this season. The good moments were just too few and far between, though. More often, Jones had trouble reading defenses, stared at his first read, wanted to see his receiver open before throwing, which you can't do, and throw short of the sticks rather than taking shots downfield. Yeah. It's just true. All right. Winners. Tommy DeVito. Surprisingly to some, DeVito was named Jones's replacement for Sunday's game against Tampa, rather than Drew Lock. For DeVito, this is a golden opportunity to show the Giants and the league that he can be a viable NFL backup quarterback. DeVito won 3 games as a starter last season, including a thrilling last-minute comeback drive against the Packers on Monday night. So, definitely. And this is huge for him, especially, regardless if Shane and Dable are back. But if they are back, he won 3 games last year. This is another season in the same system, right? If he can show something here, it's like, we'll sign him again, because he's one of those restricted free, or I think one of those guys, if the Giants offer him a contract, he has to sign it. Nobody else can. He's like a restricted free agent, or not. I can't remember. It's not a restricted free agent. I can't remember the words of it. But I think if the Giants offer him a contract, he has to sign it. He can't go shopping his wares around any other team. So this is huge. For him and for the Giants, and especially it's also huge for him because if the Giants don't want him back, but he put some good stuff, right, on film last season. If he can do some nice things this year, he'll be a viable backup quarterback in the league. Somebody will take a shot at him, right? Somebody may not come in, sign him a $40 million a year contract and have him be the starter. That's not going to happen, but it's huge for him, right? And it's also huge for the Giants too, that they want to bring him back next season. So it's big, very, very big for him. All right, next. It's good for Daniel Jones. What? Hear me out. Jones is, by all indications, a nice guy who works hard, is respected by his teammates, and never points the finger at anyone else. Let's see. Other than when Marcus Johnson dropped a potential TD pass in Jacksonville in 2022. He has a professional football player been more maligned by fans and the press than Jones during his Giants tenure. The fact that he always seemed to play better on the road than at MetLife Stadium might be a statistical quirk, but also may indicate that the booing affected his play. Going someplace else may just be what the doctor ordered. Look at Sam Darnold, also driven out of New York by his failures for a different fan base and now sitting pretty as a starting quarterback, for 1 year anyway, for a Minnesota team likely to be in the playoffs. It's fair to say that Darnold has resurrected or resuscitated his career, even if he never lives up to his number 3 draft slot. Jones will now have a chance to do the same. A bonus. Jones, never comfortable at the podium, will not have to deal with the Giants beat reporters anymore. So that's a win. Never has to talk to him ever again. Well, I'll be happy about that. The other winning is for other bad NFL teams. If you subscribe to the idea that Jones was the primary thing preventing the Giants from winning more games, then you probably also believe that now that he is benched, the Giants will win more games the rest of the season and drop in the draft order. That might be good news for quarterback-needy teams like Tennessee, Cleveland, and the Raiders. Rarely discussed now is something that was made a big deal out of when the season began, namely that the Giants' schedule seemed to be front-loaded with tough opponents in the first half of the season. That has more or less happened, though not in the way most of us predicted. Minnesota, Washington, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh have turned out to be more formidable than anticipated, though Cleveland and Dallas have not. So the remainder of the schedule is not so fearsome. Arguably, five of the next seven remaining games are winnable. So a repeat of 2023 DeVito Mania is not impossible. I mean, could he win 3 games out of these next 7? Absolutely. If we get K-Bomb back, if the team pulls together and all that stuff and everything, anything's possible. Anything's possible. Bad news for the Giants draft position, though. Could be good for Jalen Hyatt. Hyatt has not become the receiver threat that the Giants fans and Joe Shane, who traded up to get him, hoped he'd be. Jones' proclivity to throw short rather than airing it out may be part of the reason for Hyatt's underwhelming numbers so far. Here's our Hyatt numbers for the 5 games Jones started in 2023 before his injury. 5 targets, 4 receptions, 99 yards. Now for the 6 games DeVito started, 15 targets, 8 receptions, 129 yards. In the 2 games Tyrod Taylor started, 6 targets, 4 receptions, 30 yards. In the 9 games he has played this season, all started by Jones. He has 5 receptions for 45 yards. DeVito has thrown to Hyatt about twice as often as Jones has over his 2 seasons. It will be interesting to see whether Hyatt becomes a greater participant in the offense with DeVito once again at the helm. Losers of the benching, Shane and Dable, of course. They're the ones that look, silly. Because, we go over this for, long time, but, it wound up working out where, they tried to get something done with Saquon, didn't work out. So then they tried to get something done with Daniel Jones, and they finally got it worked out. Which then they had to put the franchise tag on Saquon because they couldn't get nothing worked out. They threw something at him, but couldn't get it worked out. So of course, they wind up throwing all this money at Daniel Jones, and now he's on the bench, and he's never going to play another. Unless God forbid, you don't want that to happen. But if he is the 3rd quarterback, right? Just say, I'm saying, if say Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan gets injured, Drew Lock gets injured, or maybe Daniel Jones, maybe you don't even know. Maybe you don't know. But they threw all this money at Daniel Jones. I guaranteed him all this money and everything, and he's on the bench. Meanwhile, the guy that they wound up letting go because they couldn't make him happy is having an MVP type season. So they look pretty bad. They basically their best weapon. They couldn't find a way to keep them. It was just got to give Shane some credit. He had his price point, and he's sticking to his guns, and he's like, I'm not paying any more than this. But of course, looking like it backfired because somebody else went out of the way and paid a lot more money. For Saquon than apparently the Giants were going to, and it's backfiring on Shane. And him and Dable look like idiots right now. As I said, he was your best offensive weapon, right? And you let him go. It's not. And I said this in one of the videos last one a couple nights ago or whatever it was, but it's not like he's a wide receiver and the guy wants $30 million. And it's like, that's a lot of money. I mean, I don't think he's worth it. We don't have the money, whatever like that. The guy wanted like $14 million. It's a lot of money. If you're not happy with it, you can throw the money my way, right? More than happy to take the $14 million. But my point is that in today's day, and it's for running back. A lot of running backs, the running back market has taken a hit as far as money wise. But basically, if you look at it, he's your best offensive weapon. You let your best offensive weapon go, walk out the door for about $14 million a season. Ooh. You know what I mean? If you had him, right, so far he stayed healthy so far as for the Eagles. And you have Malik Neighbors. You got two really good. You got one guy in the backfield. You have Malik Neighbors out there. Right? You got a couple. Saquon's not going to be around forever, right? But to be able to keep your best offensive weapon for only about $14 million is. But once again, Shane, at his price, you gotta, he has his way of doing things, and he's sticking to his guns. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, he's looking a little foolish right now. But all right, a couple of other losers here. Of course, one is Daniel Jones. Jones is both a winner and a loser. Yeah, he doesn't have to talk to the New York press anymore, so he's a winner. I would absolutely love that. We looked at the bright side for him already. The downside, of course, is that his reputation rising in 2022 has taken a huge hit, and it is not clear that anyone in the NFL will ever see him as anything more than a backup. Of more tangible interest to Jones, his benching and expected end-of-season release means he will never see a little less than half of the money in that $160 million. Well, the dude pulled in about $80 million. Not to mention, the $80 million, but whatever he made in his rookie deal, right? 2019, 20, 21, 22, right? They didn't pick up his fifth-year option. So whatever he made in his rookie deal. So, I don't know if it was pick six. He probably made about $20 million, I'm going to say, somewhere around there. So, if he's nothing, he's okay, be a backup. Yeah, he can go in there and lead you as a backup. Sure. But, after this season's over with, he's probably made, money-wise, because his rookie deal was all guaranteed. He got about $80 million. So he's made about $100 million in his career in 6 years. If he's not happy with it, you can throw the money my way. He can literally live off that for the rest of his life. Right? He'll literally live off that the rest of his life. So, and then one of the other losers, of course, would be Drew Lock. Says Kyler Murray is having a resurgence this season, but boy, that 2019 quarterback class is looking pretty rough. It has to be a bit embarrassing for Locke to be signed as the backup quarterback and to be passed over for the third-string quarterback when the starter is finally benched. We may never know the reason. Locke only saw the field once in a regular season game for the Giants, mopping up for Jones when the Eagles game got out of hand. He was pretty bad, going 3 for 8 for a total of 6 yards and 2 turnover-worthy plays. So that might be another one of the reasons why he's not out there, right? Still, that's not much of a chance to show what you can do. Unfortunately, Locke was injured in the preseason, limiting what Dable could do with him. Based on Dable's selection of DeVito over Locke, you have to assume that Locke will be looking for work next season, despite moments like his 2023 comeback victory over the Eagles. It was with the Seahawks. Okay, another one of the final loser, right, would be Darius Slayton. This is a bit of a stretch, but Slayton, by all indications, is one of the good guys in the NFL, and he seems to have a close bond with Daniel Jones. They came into the league together in 2019. Jones was the first-round pick, or one of the 3 first-round picks. Slayton was a 5th-round pick. Let's see. And Slayton has caught most of his NFL passes from Jones. In their 6 seasons together, Slayton has more receptions, 181, for more yards, 2,595, and more touchdowns, 12, than with any other of the 52 receivers who have caught at least one pass from Jones, and no one else is particularly close. Wow, 52 other receivers. Wow. Oh, my God. Slayton has always been a vocal defender of Jones against the slings and arrows others have sent his way. You have to think he, along with many of Jones's other teammates who have been with him for a while, are having similar feelings about this turning point for the team. So, well, I mean, unfortunately, it's, there's no, I mean, it's tough. I mean, it comes with the territory, especially if you're in New York, right? If you win in Super Bowls, right, and things are going great. Of course, you'll have these negative Nancy idiot reporters out there and all of that. If you win in Super Bowls, they're bringing up nothing but problems and stuff like that. But I mean, this comes with the territory, especially in New York. It's very, very difficult. Especially when things aren't going well. Benching quarterbacks and all stuff like that. So.